Welcome. You're listening to a Rolemaster Classic Actual play set in Terry K Amthor's excellent Shadow World using Fantasy Grounds. You can find session summaries, items and characters on Obsidian Portal, where our campaign is called The Praise of Old Men. Last episode, the party fought strange ape-like humanoids called Garks and a blindingly fast Wyvern, or Wyvern. Now it's time to find a way into the temple.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to have a quick look over her, first aid, and if you can work out what's wrong with her or whatever, you'll then drop a couple of draft on her.
Yeah.
Stop pushing your drugs on me, old man. I'm not going to get addicted.
3 draft, so see what that does for you.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
That's 1 to 10, 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
Email.
Consecutive.
Oh, gotcha. Do you want to keep those?
No, we've got we've got 44 left now.
Wow.
Okay. Email's fine with drugs. It's from Australia. It's fine.
Oh,
What are you saying about Australians' penchant for drugs there, Stuart? I think it's very rude.
Well,
It's massive.
Or is that their ability to tolerate them, which is also immense?
That's also massive as
all
well.
of the Australian crime and gangster films aren't lies. They tell the truth.
Actually, if you've seen the movie that launched Heath Ledger's career called Two Hands,
No, I haven't seen that one.
it's a movie from the 90s.
Oh.
So it is about as true crime as
Is it?
because I had a friend who had spent time in jail.
Oh yeah, a friend.
I'm
Tell
not a
me.
convict. No. It was a guy I worked for in a radio station, actually. And yeah, he said the language, everything about it is so what I experienced while I was inside, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh.
Look out.
So-
2 hands. Okay.
So Two
Oh,
Hands
wow.
it's called. It's got Brian Brown and Heath Ledger in it, I believe.
Okay, so recovering and taking some time to rest and regather your wits. The Wyvern's attack has scared the Garks off and scared much of the other wildlife off. And the jungle, now that the sound of the screaming and hissing of the Wyvern has quietened, has remained somewhat quiet. Now that you've had a chance to gather yourself and mount the steps and look at the dais, you can see that the top of the dais is a plain sandstone block, though there is a curious pattern of light set up. There seem to be a 4x4 set of circles, 4 of which are lit and are glowing slightly. As Numal steps onto one of the squares, the lights actually change, so that happens. Numal then steps onto a second circle, and the lights change again.
Stop treading on the bloody squares!
Okay, so basically, as you step onto a circle, if the circle is lit, it goes out. If the circle is unlit, it turns on. But the circles around it change in a similar manner.
Assuming we've got to get them all lit.
Yup.
So, the puzzle in essence is a bunch of lights that need to be switched on and off. Depending on what you stand on, will turn on the lights, the one you're standing on and the ones beside it. So, for example, you were to stand on a light in the middle, what would happen is the lights to the top, bottom, left and right would turn on, but not the diagonals. And then, for example, if you were then to stand on another light just beside the original light, say maybe at the 7 o'clock position, well, that would then switch or invert the lights to the top, the bottom, the left and the right again. Kind of like that. So this was the starting configuration to the puzzle. We then realised after many hours of trials and tribulations that there was something along the lines of calling chase the lights, where the idea is that you go on the row below the light that you want to turn on. So for example, say the top left light was off on the first row, you'd go to the second row in the first column and then stand on that, which would then turn the light on above, and obviously then change all the lights to the left, the right and the bottom as well. So for example, when you were to stand on this light to turn on the top row, then it would turn on the top row, the left, the right and the bottom, something like this. And the idea is then as you move your way across the second row, for example, if you want to turn the lights on the first row, but only those particular lights that have a light above it which is off. So for example, we'd do on the if the light on the top row, second column was off, you'd be then on the second row, on the second column, you'd stand on that to turn the light above it on, with corresponding changes. And then, for example, then if the final bit of the top row was the fourth column, the last column was off, then in the second row you'd go to the last column, stand on that, and that would then turn that light on, which would leave you the whole top row on. Now what happens is then there's a second row will either then be on or off. You then move on to the third row to then turn on the lights above, wherever those are actually particularly off. Now in the example that we've got here, all of the second row are all off, so therefore you'd have to then stand on every one of the third row's columns to turn all the lights on above, which would leave you a configuration like this. And then the final bit on a 4x4, the final part to do in the 4x4 is to then stand on the bottom row to turn on those lights that are currently off on the third row, which in this case there's only 2 left on the columns 1 and 2, so you'd only stand on the bottom row in columns 1 and 2, which would leave you the whole thing turned on. And that's how we did it, though after many hours and a bit of prompting from Stuart, but we got there in the end, and therefore the entrance to the temple was open. So with this session I did record it, but unfortunately I hadn't changed my audio settings back, so it didn't take any of my desktop audio, so all you would have heard was me talking and the visuals that go with it. But luckily the player of Silk uses Twitch, and he streams our sessions that we do on Fridays live and unedited, so I was able to then grab his audio and put it with this. Unfortunately, as you'll see, Silk never talks this session because he was feeling ill, so all he did was put it onto stream, so it did start a bit late, but I've taken the audio, which should go from a certain point. But at this point we did enter, we went down the steps, and you can see in the description in the video, the stone steps beneath the platform descend some 30 feet into a small alcove that is lit by a small glowing crystal that rises to hover in the air above the heads of the adventurers when they enter. Small decorative stone statues approximately 1 to 2 feet in height are leaning against one of the alcove walls. We then went down that, found a door to the south, and then another door to the west. We went through that door to the west, which opened up into a large room with several doors around the outside. The area beyond that door was lit by 2 braziers that fill the room with a soft, warm light that dances and gleams on the still water in the large pool set in the centre of this large chamber. Tall marble statues of angelic-looking figures surround the pool, all in majestic poses and all incredibly lifelike. We then looked around this pool and noticed that there were some copper discs around the outside, and dropping these copper discs into the pool granted a kind of like a vision, like a flashback to the lives of these angelic beings. The first one was of 2 children playing in the snow, who then playfully threw a snowball at the viewing portal, but you weren't able to interact them. Another one was of a couple in a nice scene where they quite at ease, and they looked like they were quite peaceful beings. Looking around at the statues, there's been nothing similar to the man, the woman, to the children.
No, the only similarity, statues are angelic, are tall humanoids, proportioned just as you are, but they have wings and they have, well, like you, they have weapons, but unlike you, they have wings. But otherwise, no, there's nothing to link any of the statues individually to this. They're all quite featureless, quite plain. They've got no unique identities.
I try and explain to Lisa what we're seeing, like, pool is sending us vision. Can she sense anything from this pool? Does she want to go near it or stay away from it?
She says that she could enter the pool, but with very, very great difficulty. And she says the pool is a scrying pool, a vision pool. You can see she's struggling to select the right word. You'll remember that the longer that Liz spent with you, the more of a personality she's developed. So she's become, because of quite somber, quite serious, and not as flighty as she used to be. In the same way that you've been driven on a quest and go on adventures, that drive behind all of you has become part of her drive as well. So in the past, she would have just jumped into the pool, splashed around, laughed, and had fun. Now, basically, she will do as you suggest. Doesn't come up with suggestions, but she'll do as you suggest. She's still struggling, however, to express herself, and she can't quite find the words for what this pool is. She can confirm that it's safe, that it's not harmful, but it's not a pool for drinking or swimming in. A vision pool, a scrying pool, a memory pool.
Pool to be respectful of. Well, I wonder if I was going to make a bad pun and say maybe I should use surface thoughts on the pool. Thank you.
It's all right. That will be edited out.
No, it won't. It's straight to air.
Oh, dearie me.
What do you want to do? Do you want to toss another coin in and see if the visions you get any clues, whatever this pool is, visions, memory, scrying, whatever it is? The people, whoever they are, these angelic beings, happy, content, peaceful. They're beings that you've never encountered. And certainly they're not sort of creatures that you've ever come across before. As far as you know, you don't know any winged humans living on, or that you've come across anyway, in your travel. You've met plenty of winged creatures that will hurt you, but you've certainly never come across benign angelic being, angelic humans anyway. Okay, Shana picks up a coin, inspects it between thumb and forefinger, and then flicks it into the pool. The pool ripples instantly that the coin hits it, and again another image begins to form deep within the clear waters of the pool. This time, all of you can open meadow. There is a fringe of snowy covered pines around it. It looks like there's some sort of sparring. You can see a number of these humans fighting. Their wings are furled behind them, but you can still see the wings. But they are clearly practicing weaponcraft. Spears, swords, hammers, shields. From time to time, you can see others of this humanoid species walking between combatants, pausing, tapping them on the shoulder, breaking up the fight, and demonstrating different attack styles, thrusts, and so on. Shana's probably a little bit disappointed with creatures, as impressive as they are, and they move with a non-human grace. None of these creatures are fighting armed, Shana. They're all fighting with weapons. And gradually, as the pool begins to still, the vision fades.
Well, they look almost as fast as you, Shana.
They do. Whoever these creatures were, they fight very well. All of you, they fight well. Cran, well, actually, all of you. You've all seen a fair amount of combat so far. You can all make perception rolls, please. So as you study the image of the fighting, you're able to think about the quality of these warriors.
Cran was picking his nose, looking the other direction, unfortunately.
Shrugs and just says, I think the hammers were a bit poncy, really. Cherry, Shana, and Ugnan can tell that actually these warriors were very, very skilled, even by your standard. You are now all quite skilled warriors. Well, certainly a number of you are. They were very, very skilled. Shana, they were indeed quite quick, lithe, and graceful. Cran, you can tell that the impact you can see by the way that some swords quivering when struck, when used to parry. These creatures were strong and quick. They would be difficult fighters to stand against.
Well, I've got to have myself a crack at this. I'll pick up a copper disc and drop it in. And like stand right near the edge and like very high hopes of something very interesting.
Okay. Crichton, you drop the disc in, and this time what looks like a long hall. There's a great big long high roofed beamed room. And you can see rank after rank after rank of these angels, for want of a different word. Only this time, and for the first time, they're fully armored. Gleaming chainmail, some are wearing plate, all of them armed with shield and sword, hammer, battle axe, lance, spear, and so on. A few carry bows. All of them are standing, facing the viewer. All of them are standing looking stern and somber. The image stays like this for a number of seconds, and then, because of course there's no sound to these, you suspect that something is said, and you can see them begin to clash their shields with their weapons. Some sort of ritual agreement or ritual signal or salute. And then as one, all of the warriors smartly turn to face the other direction and begin to file out of the longhouse, sent off to battle, you suspect.
Is the style of Longhouse similar to my homeland?
It is somewhat similar, yes. Different in dimensions, different in terms of quality. Not that your people Cran built bad longhouses, but these people, whoever they are, just were better craftsmen, very skilled. But yes, very similar to your style.
Interesting.
But you've never heard of winged humans living where you...
Ogden, you've read a lot of books. Have you heard of these things?
I'll have a look. What kind of lore would that be?
Probably. So you'd have to re-roll. They're not demons. They're not magic creatures. These are real people. So give me some sort of history roll. Have you got history?
No, unfortunately. Artifact, demon, emer, essence, fauna, herb. Oh, hang on. There's history. Yeah, hang on. Apart from that one that says history.
Ogden's got so many degrees he doesn't remember which
That's right.
what he knows and what he doesn't.
It's a bit like Adventure with Doogie Howser in some way. Okay, so Doogie Ugnan, so wait a minute, I think I know something. No, Ugnan. You've never heard tell. I mean, whoever these people were, these are basically winged humans. You've not heard tell of them, so they are, and all of you can probably guess, whoever these folk are, whoever these people are, they are a very secretive people. None of you have ever heard of these beings before. In some ways, you're probably privileged to have come across this pool, whatever it is. Assuming, of course, that the pool is actually correct and truthful, as it were.
Wonder if we can ask that fellow that we met. Well, I didn't. I was standing in the bloody rain looking at the warehouse, but you all met in Selkai last time at the Elgata estate. He seemed to know everything, including what we've been doing, so he might know.
That Lawmaster.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he called himself.
Bloody Ponce, yeah.
The way you've described them, would this qualify as a lore obscure?
Yes. Give me an obscure lore. Ooh, okay, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't make that roll. Okay. Okay. Upton goes silent for a minute and goes and chat, and you can see him thinking, going off to that happy place he has, where he envisages himself surrounded by books rather than farting, sweating warriors and screaming monsters and people needing limbs attached. So he pictures himself back at his homely little library, and he suddenly clicks his fingers and he says, Amarrishi. That's who they are, Amarrishi. And I'll just type that in the window. Fabled creatures, blessed by the Lords of Orr. So you remember those are the, if you like, the good gods of Cthulhu. So the Amarrishi were a wind folk, angelic in more than one way, very, very secretive, died out apparently. Nobody knows where they came from. Nobody knows where they lived. Nobody's ever seen one.
Nobody knew they died out.
And exactly, and perhaps that's what's sadder. Nothing sadder than a race of people died out.
So they were basically. I'm trying to think of an equivalent in modern
Help if I shared some maps. There we go.
Atlanteans?
I suppose
Yeah.
so. They'd be the equivalent of Atlanteans. It'd be a bit like you walking down the street, meeting some from, and that he was the last of his kind. Anyway, that's my line on a Friday night. What next? You can throw more coins into the pool. Those of you that do so, just images. You don't see any images of battles, but you see images as if somebody has been living with these Amarrishi. Maybe it's another Amarrishi themselves. And all of the visions that you see are always eyes of a spectator, almost like a journalist. You see a mixture of domestic scenes, people eating, people cooking, people playing, children, weapon practice, herding, food preparation, all manner of everyday scenes. The overriding sense you get is that these people were peaceful, but always prepared for war. From a very early age, both young boys and young girls taught weapon craft.
That's the best way to be honest. And talking about food, we haven't eaten for like a couple of hours. Should we get some scrag down us before we carry on?
Cran is indeed probably very hungry. So you can, as you eat, you can toss these coins in. It's a bit like, I suppose, eating in front of the TV.
I was going to say, it's a theatre you can have a picnic in front
That's
of.
right. Who's got the popcorn, says Cran as he tosses in. So as you get some food and rest and recover, so I think all of you are on sort of full hit points. You can toss these coins in. The braziers continue to give off this soft orange-yellow light, burning these coals. But the coals, mysteriously, don't seem to burn out. They're burning, but without actually burning, as it were.
Like illusions.
Yeah, I suppose so. But these are illusions that are giving off light.
Well, nothing bloody surprises me anymore.
So this is a good place to come then, I suppose, if they are kind of like an angelic being and they're martial in some ways, and this might explain why we can maybe find some weapons that will fight demons.
Could well be that you come to just the place that you were looking at something, Temple of the Forgotten Knight. This could well be the place, though what the name actually means, Forgotten Knight, you're not quite sure about. Shani, you can reach in and try and fish things out. Do you want to do so? Okay. Shani, you can see, stares at some of the coins and pushes a hand in to fish the coins out. And that's fine, Shani, your hand goes in. You have to lie down and reach. The pool is probably about 3 feet deep or so you're right at the edge of your fingertips. But you can grasp some of the copper coins, pull them out. They come out dripping water. No image forms. It seems as if obviously the action of tossing a coin in is what triggers these visions. And just to test this theory out, you toss another coin in, and sure enough, there's another vision. So the coins can be used multiple times. Shana, give me a perception roll. Yes, thank you very much. In fact, don't need a perception roll. Yes, Shana, each coin seems to store a particular image. As you toss a coin in, you get a vision that you've seen before. Thinking about it for a few minutes, you then reach in, pick the coin out, toss it in, and you get the same vision. So each of the discs seems to hold a vision or a memory scene, but it's only triggered when it disturbs the pool. No, the coins have no marking. They're completely featureless.
So are these our coins that we're checking in, or coins that we've just found here?
No, these were small feature copper coin discs rather than coins because there's no features. These are copper discs, about the size, about probably half an inch in diameter, that you found scattered around the pool on the stone ledge.
Cool, thank you. Sorry for...
Yeah, macro SD cards indeed. There's no way to tell.
Well, I'll be. That was fascinating.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's go and find ourselves some weapons and then go and kill some demons then.
It's disheartening as a dungeon master, isn't it, when Cran says, yeah, it's very...
Very nice. It's always about business for you, Cran.
That's right. Okay.
I'm tempted...
Sorry.
My old man used to say, if something needs to be done, get cracking and do it. Don't half-ass around and just prevaricate. It never helps.
Maybe it's linked to the memory of the person who originally threw it in the pool.
Well, certainly there's a viewer. Whether it's the same viewer each time, you don't know. Tempting, isn't it, to suggest that whoever crafted the copper coin was the person who saw the images. Cran, anyway, begins to restow weapons. You've not been disturbed while you've eaten, so you've obviously not triggered any traps coming down here, but there are a number of stone doors that remain enticingly closed.
Ooh, that's
6 small stone doors dotted around the room, and an impressive set of double stone doors to the west. Hopefully, Cherry, those are all visible.
Yes, indeed they are.
Good.
Yeah. I'm trying to work. So many doors.
I know. Don't forget, there's also one back there as well.
Yeah, one. Yep, I spotted that as.
Good. Okay, so there are lots of doors to check out.
So while everyone's like watching this quite silently, and Shana's putting her hand in the water, Jerry's going to clap her hands loudly and go, "Oh, let's set about opening some of these doors, shall we?"
Let's go to do the big ones. They normally go to like more important places, don't they? And then he looks around everyone and like shakes his head and go, "Oh God, you all want to go to like complete everything off, don't you?" All right. Your system. Where are we going?
Our system gets you funky new toys like that. Look up and down at that double-bladed
monstrosity
that you carry around.
Yeah, it's bloody hard to stow, I tell you. Can't like stick it in your belt or anything. You can like balance it over your back. It's bloody awful. It's quite effective though, must admit.
Well, that's all that counts, really. It doesn't get the job of killing done.
Exactly.
Okay.
Go on then, Silk. Where are we off to? Oh, is it Cherry? You made.
Oh, sorry. I've drawn an arrow, but I think the pointer's the wrong way. But that bottom door I'm going anti-clockwise.
Yes, I was struggling.
Ogden's
Yeah.
nodding his head because that's what he was thinking.
Okay. Give me a perception roll then, Cherry. I'm assuming you're going to check to see if it's trapped. I probably shouldn't have said anything.
Yes, you might have caught me flat. So, plenty of light. I've lit my lantern.
Yeah, okay, good. Door is not trapped, but again, it's going to be a very hard pick.
Roger that. Big picks. Oh, very hard.
So Cherry bends down, positions her torch, bends down with her picks. And where's my table result? Oops, no, I didn't want that one. Excellent. Difficult, Cherry. You're going to have to, your lock hasn't snapped, you've not failed, but you're going to have to make another roll for me, please.
Oh, sorry, I put
I
-20
think
on
Cherry's
that.
she's losing her touch a bit.
She is a bit. Yeah, Bosco, you hadn't joined us. She fumbled her first lockpick and actually snapped her lockpick. She exchanged some sharp words with Ogden, who, for some strange reason, decided to check for traps as well, which Cherry took actually some slight offence to. So Cherry's now feeling slightly pressured. Ogden, you all right there? Do you want some help? Give me have another go, please, Cherry. You haven't fumbled, you haven't broken, but the lock is just being very recalcitrant. Give me another go, please.
Not a problem. I look at Ogden sternly and go and say, "Don't make me belly slap you."
Just an extra set of eyes, love. Just an extra set of eyes.
Right, this is proving really awkward. Rating. Give me another roll.
Oh Lord. Okay. Oh jeez. Terrible rolls. I had to see a roll. I'm like, no, I'm just.
Okay, doesn't look like you're going to be able to this lock. I'll give you one more. It's been about half an hour of you fiddling and cursing quietly. Ugnan has done the sensible thing and just backed off, now worried that you're going to snap and turn around and blame him. One more dice roll.
Want me to have a crack with the old axe?
It's a stone door, so fill your boots, Krabs,
Stone door.
says Cherry.
Okay.
Come on.
Going.
I'm feeling good about this roll.
So am I.
And 15th time is a charm. Or whatever
Indeed.
it is. So this time
I
Cherry
spit on the
stands
floor.
up, looks quite cross, and just, if she could, she'd boot the door open, but she just pushes it open. Obviously cross that it took her so long to open the door. Anyway, the door opens onto, and light of your torch, onto a set of stairs that lead slightly up to a small chamber. It looks like some sort of small work area. You can see that as you push the door, or as you rather, yeah, so as you pull the door open towards you, Cherry, rather than actually pushing it, you can see that there is a sign on the door. And the sign looks like this. And that sign is also present on the other door that you opened. Or rather the, the other door that you came across. So let me just draw the arrow. So that door there also has the same sign on it.
Oh, by Cass, I just think we've just broken some seal or something here. What do you think?
Well, nothing seems to move or disturb you. Nothing seems to leap out of the room. There's no light stone in room, the only illumination is coming from your torch, but certainly it's quite bright enough to see that there are a number of plain wooden coffins. There's a couple of sandstone slabs in the centre of the chamber, which is got quite a low ceiling. And you can see what look like the storage shelves, but nothing seems to loom out of the gloom. You seem perfectly safe. To the south, just to your right, Cherry, as you probably step in just to about there, you can see there looks to be a barred doorway. That is to say, a set of bars blocking your access to the south. This doesn't have any sort of lock on.
Hey, Sil, can you, mate, did you cast that light spell a little while back? That might be quite useful.
Yeah,
I'll go and have a prod around in there if you want.
Silk can do that. Yep. So Silk will cast her light spell, and that means she will. I think. Does she cast it on something? I think she does.
Yeah, I think she casts it on an item.
Yeah.
Like so, if
Yeah. So
use
she
your
will.
shield or whatever.
Yeah. So she can cast it on either your step in, a poke around if you wish.
And how roughly? What's the radius or circumference? Or diameter of
the light? I think it's probably about 30 foot. Assuming it's sort of that typical Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, just give us a 30-foot radius or diameter.
Diameter.
Okay.
In fact, actually, let me lazy.
Right.
To be honest,
I've got that twice as big.
Light law. I think it's light. 10-foot radius, actually.
10-foot, blimey, Charlie.
Yeah, sorry. About the point touched, and it's going to last for over an hour. I should make sure she doesn't fumble it. Oh. The gods are with her. Whose gods?
So Cran feeling a bit more confident with that cast on the what would it be cast on? His helmet, so it doesn't blind him. He'll walk up the stairs a bit and then having a gander around in the room.
Okay, give me a perception roll, please, Cran. Check around. Certainly, there's nothing or any of that sort that disturb you. The coffins all appear to be empty. You can see the lids haven't been sealed. The stone slabs look like they're work areas. You can see there are a number of jars on the shelves. You can also see a number of strange, peculiar-looking tools.
Hey, Uglan, look, there's a whole load of like potions and I don't know weird unguents in here. You wanna check these out? Might be some more rook.
Find me, Rook.
I've got your back. You spend as much time as you want, mate.
Ugnan, give me a perception. You start hurtling around looking at pots of unguents and so on and so forth. Ugnan, there are none of the herbs you as healing herbs. Some of them have quite strong smells, and you think that these are probably all used in preserving bodies. The tools that are used, some of which are slightly rusty, but not as rusted as you might expect, are far too delicate and slender to be used for any combat purposes. I suppose they could be used in minor surgery if you were skilled enough. There are some really peculiar long brass-handled implements with hooks, and you strongly suspect you've heard of the practice of mummification. You suspect this is a work area for the mummification of bodies. Soft internal organs would be perhaps stored or burnt, and the bodies liberally packed with preservatives. And you found jars that contain some of the ingredients of the preservatives. There are also what you think are jars that used to contain aromatic oils, scents, and so on to drive away the smell of corruption and so on.
Okay. It's just mummifying things, big lad. Shoving that into somebody's nose, pulling out bits, sticking them in jars.
What the bloody hell's anyone do that for? What's the wrong with sticking him on a massive pyre and having a right old party afterwards?
Yeah, each to their own, mate. Each their own.
Anyway, should we try and get head down here? He looks a bit crestfallen. There's no drugs available.
Right, the bars themselves, no signage on the bars themselves. There's no lock at all. Your light glimmers down the passageway, which looks to be empty.
Cherry, do you fancy if you got your eyesight back? Do you fancy giving this a gander down here?
Sure thing. Mosey on over quietly.
Only a joke, love. Sorry, didn't mean it.
All right.
You got much better eyes than me.
All right, give me that perception roll.
100, sir.
Okay, hold a minute. I'm just sending a. Okay. So there's no trap on the bars at all. This just looks like some sort of very simple gate, more decorative than anything else, and certainly there's no lock on it, and no trap, more importantly.
Oh, this is one of the hard ones. Push on the gate.
Okay, the gate swings open. It makes a grating you wince at as it disturbs the tranquil silence of this temple. As the noise ceases, as the door stops moving, you listen anxiously. But
Drums in the deep.
hear anything? No, there are no drums in the deep. And you've still got plenty of ways to get out, and no doors have been barred yet, and there are no foolish hobbits. So you seem to be okay for the time.
All right, let's crack on.
Numal will take up his position. Silk won't be too far behind. I think that pointer. Yeah. So you make your way down the tunnel. You can tell that end in some sort of chamber. And Cran, as you lead the way with doors, you can see at the end of this small chamber, whatever it is, you can see an elaborate stone sarcophagus that sits not totally enclosed by a small alcove at one end. There are some stone jars just to your right as you enter this alcove area. What these contain, you don't know. Some of them are stoppered. Some of them, at a quick glance, aren't stoppered. There is writing, however, around the base of the sarcophagus, or certainly there's patterning around the sarcophagus, which looks something similar to that.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, Ugnan, do you reckon there's I don't know, bits of what do you say, eyeballs and arts and livers and stuff in these jars?
Possibly. Looking at the stone dioceses in the room we've just come from, do they have any passing around them as well?
No, these are just plain stone slabs. These possibly could be workbenches.
It's like a prep room kind of thing.
Yeah, you suspect so.
Can I have a look quite closely at the writing? This is when something is going to come out in it. I can just keep an eye out for me.
Okay, the writing around the sarcophagus, and you suspect it's writing, Pran, not that you're an expert on, is not surprisingly in a language then 99.9% of all languages, including your own, are unknown to you. But this is clearly writing of some description. more importantly, and the thing that does leap out at you like a wet haddock, are the clear images of angels armed and fighting what appear to be rather hideous, demonic-looking creatures. And these also are interspersed. But the language is unknown to you. You're going to need to find somebody who can decipher this. It's certainly, I mean, Cran, your linguistic skills are limited, but it's certainly not in sort of the more Catherian tongue that you recognise. Shana doesn't recognise it either. Neither does Ugden. Neither does Cherry. Silk, if you remember, has a spell which can decipher languages, and she will cast that. Just see how long that lasts for. Oh dear, come on, tabs work. She's got more spell list than you can shake a stick out. It's not sure what spell she had, but anyway, I know she had a spell, so she can cast that, decipher the language for you. It's written in Amarrishi, she says. That's what her spell will tell her, and it says the following. Seems to be some sort of quotation, and then perhaps an indication of who rests there. Rehearse your death every morning and night. Only when you constantly live as though already dead will you be able to find freedom in the martial way and fulfill your duties without fault throughout your life. So rests Lord Shinnen, shield of Argamenthol Raz. Above all, take the shield of faith, wherever ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Cran at this point will probably shrug and go, what does that mean?
Nothing to see here then. Let's move on.
Might be a shield in there.
Oh, I'll winkle the lid off then.
Okay, Cran, even at a quick glance, whatever is in the sarcophagus, indeed, if there is anything in the sarcophagus, this stone lid is going to be a mighty stone lid indeed. You're going to need to certainly grasp it and try and lift it. It moves perhaps a fraction of a smidgen of an inch. It's going to take a number of you to lift this lid off. Who's going to help Cran lift the lid off the sarcophagus?
Hang on a minute. Let me just get Bessie out. Or is it? Sorry, Betty, I think it was.
Betty or Bessie? I don't think she minds.
Changes depending if I succeed.
Exactly, yes. It depends on memory.
Right, if I winkle it in under here and I'll try to do the lift. If a couple of you guys get on the crowbar.
You can certainly winkle it up and get some fingers underneath it. I need so Shana, if you're helping to lift it, Fran positions himself well. Ugden gets himself on the crowbar. Cherry and Silk will move a little bit closer. Numal will protect the rear. Cran, why don't you give me I think it's going to be an easy strength roll, given that you've got a crowbar strong helping you lift.
I will do my best. Strength. I didn't apply the easies. That should be 138. Sorry.
Okay. It lifts up. Inside, so the lid is lifted up, and inside you can see what looks like the carefully wrapped body of, you assume, an Amarrishi, or certainly some sort of tall humanoid warrior. Whoever he or she is, they are well over 6 feet in height. Quite well muscled, although that's difficult to tell from the mummified wrappings. Resting on top of the white linen wrappings, however, is a large, dark shield. The folded arms of the figure cradle what appear to be a slender sword that is slightly curved.
Well, I'll be damned.
Right, let's open that.
You reckon that'll be useful, Ogden?
Well, I don't know. The shield looks a bit big for me, but might be good for you lot. Either way, if it stops darts, fiery darts.
Can't be doing with shields. It feels weird not to have like a weapon in both your hands.
Well, if you're getting shot at with fiery darts, I think you might be ruining that.
Fair point.
So Ogden's going to reach in and grab the shield out and go for the sword, assuming this thing doesn't animate and kill him.
As he grasps the shield and lifts it away, nothing happens. Either you were meant to take this, or it is not trapped at all. Moving the shield away, you what looks like a small torque. So this would be something that goes around the neck, and embedded in the torque are a number of small pearls. So, Cran, you've taken the shield. I think I sent you.
Yeah, you did. So, do I just kind of intuit what this does? Just guide me on.
Yeah, I think we put basically give me, and I mean you certainly suspect that the shield is magic. So as you start wielding the shield, you can certainly enjoy the defensive bonus. As regards the other properties, those are things that you are going to make a use items roll. Good luck with that. But certainly you can enjoy the defensive bonus stuff. As regards the other details, that's probably going to elude you for the time being.
So for the first time, you haven't really seen Cran look that impressed by anything. He kind of looks at the shield from all sorts of angles and he says, by Cass's airy balls, I think this is made of adamantine. Adamantium, sorry. It's an unbelievable shield. Cran or Silt, Ugnan or Silt, you should have a look at this. It's incredible.
How heavy is it?
Be magical.
Okay, let me just share those with everybody. Just so that, I mean, it's one of those areas that I own how you share magic item properties. I'll have a think about that over the weekend. Certainly, the way that I'm quite any thought at all is that if you say, well, I'm going to have this sword, this shield, you need to know what the defensive bonus, the offensive bonus. As regards any sort of magical spell casting properties, we sort of concocted some rules on Obsidian Portal. If you remember what those were, I think they involved an intelligence roll that was then affected by your class as well. Okay, but the shield is clearly, since it's fashioned of adamantium, it is clearly magical. There is also the sword, which again is clearly unusual because it's not rusted. And then there is this torque with the pearls in it. Cran is quite interested in the shield, I think. There is a sword and there is also this torque if you want to take that, or you can leave them.
Yeah, so it's a magic skill roll to identify.
Yeah.
You ruled, yeah.
Yeah, have a look at the torque and all that kind of doodah. I've got staves and wands if that's any good.
Yeah, I think so. I think because basically you need to read that to be able to use the power. So to be honest, I'm quite happy if you use that on these as well. So if you make that roll on the pearls, that's what they are. Okay, so you know that. So basically, whoever wears the torque basically has extra power points available to them.
Oh, these are like one use.
That's right, yeah. So you've got 3 pearls on the torque that are still uncracked. So effectively, you've got 150.
Nice, very nice.
And then the sword, that's basically any sort of decent fighter can tell you something about that. The only thing that makes it difficult is it's a katana weapon use. So you could use, if you've got one hand, you could use half your offensive bonus with that katana. So if you've got, say, plus 40 with short sword, you can have plus 20 with that katana. What's more important, of course, is it's slaying against demons and is also holy.
Yeah, nice. Very
So
nice.
that weapon, even though none of you are particularly well trained in this unusual sword, it's a slaying weapon against demons, which will help you. Surprisingly, as you loot this, not that I think any of you paused to think about this, none of you get a sense of wrongness about this. Some of you might perhaps feel a momentary panic should we be looting a coffin. None of you get that sort of sense at all. In fact, as you remove these items, there's almost the sense that this is what should be done. That's why these items have been placed here. They've not been placed behind a trap. They've not been placed behind any locked doors. These were meant to be used, and you've got them.
To fire the fire bolts from the shield, would you need what's it called, directed spells?
Yes. Well, you wouldn't need it, but directed fire without having directed spells, but you get no offensive bonus. If you've got offensive bonus, if you've got directed spells with firebolt, you could use your directed spells firebolt with that shield. If you haven't got directed spells firebolt, you can still use the firebolts from the shield, but all you'll get is your agility bonus.
Right.
This katana, is it sort of like act like a longsword in nature, or?
Yes, it's probably more similar. So if you've
Or it's
got
a long kainak or something?
yes, but it's different enough so that if you had the long kainak skill, you couldn't use your offensive bonus with the long kainak or those skill ranks with the katana. But you can certainly use half of those ranks. So it's the in Rolemaster terms, it's the similar weapons type thing. A katana is similar to a long sword. So if you've got any ranks in long sword or long kainak or any other sort of fairly long bladed weapon, you can use offensive bonus with it.
So does Numel?
I think
use a
Numel
long
uses a.
kainak?
Numel certainly uses kainak. Well, that's mostly because I haven't figured out a way of coding strange sort of barbaric club type thing that he's got. So yes, Numel could probably use that katana
Okay.
if nobody else wants it.
Yeah.
Crichton looks at it and goes, "That's a bloody nice weapon. Not sure where I'd put it."
That's true. Okay, if nobody else wants to use it, certainly Numel can take it.
Yeah, I think give it to Numel. Because I've got my new sword.
Okay.
And I really prefer not to get into melee combat. So
And Uglin's
have to.
barely master to be able to hold on to the hand axe, let alone pick up a sword, so he doesn't want it.
Well, Ogden, why don't you just take the shield in your left hand that you normally use and then like pick up the other shield and have that in your right hand?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have directed spells, firebolt, but Silk does. But I think
Silk's not really a shield user.
No.
Okay.
Well, I like the idea of the shield, but somebody else might be able to use the shield. I don't know. Does Jerry use the shield?
Look, I usually like to be a little bit more freeform. I'm thinking Numel, this could be good to creep up. I'm not sure if Numel carries a shield.
No, he's not really a shield. He wouldn't really use it.
Also, anybody with a good agility would be useful for this because they can add that onto the firebolt spells that stores up. Now, I don't have a very good agility. It's slightly better than my strength, but still not very good.
My agility's pretty good. It'll be like a very much a tertiary weapon. I haven't even given me old two-handed sword a crack yet. Oh, and the long knives. Haven't tried those out really, so happy to give it a try. I mean, I guess if we're fighting something that's
something that spits fire, like demons.
Spits fire? Do they? Oh, by Cassie's nuts. They spit fire, do they? Oh, right. Well, it might be quite useful then. But hang on a minute. He humps a bit of equipment from one shoulder to the other, and then I reckon I could carry it here. But sure, no one else can make use of this.
Yeah, I have 0 experience with shields, so I'd be at minuses. But then again, I like to have 2 hands free so I can grab my bow.
What I find with a shield is like my left arm gets a bit weak and my right one gets a bit like unbalanced. So kind of typically use like weapon in both hands.
Those I can carry it around just in case.
Yeah. Ogden is skilled with his shield, but really it's only a small shield, and it's mainly just used for defense. So it might be useful for somebody else.
I'll say you can if you want to train me up, Cran, on how to do shields over the next few days.
Yeah, happy to give it a try. And just out of game for a brief minute, are there specific shield skill ranks you develop, or is it bundled with the armor type you're using?
It's just bundled with the armor type. So what
right.
do is it gives you a bonus to your DB. So I think if you've got a regular shield, it's plus 25 to your melee defensive bonus and plus 25 to your missile defensive bonus. A large shield is slightly different. I think it's you'd have to look it up, but I think it's 30 against melee, and it might be plus 35 or even plus 30 against missiles. I know that basically you get more of a defensive boost using a large shield as opposed to a medium.
When you were saying that, I was thinking 30-40. So you
30-40, right. Yeah, it could be something like that.
All right, gotcha. So I mean, what I'm thinking, if we face something that's like one creature that's incredibly powerful, essentially trying to act as the hub of all of the attacks with that shield and defending like Billio would be quite useful, I guess. So that might be quite helpful. And I suggest I did that with like massive plate armor on rather than anyone else. So if you want to hold it, and then if we reach a situation like that, I can grab it off you and kind of try and.
Yeah, sure. I'll be your shield bearer.
Shield maiden, I like it.
One of Cran's visions is finally maiden.
Visions or fantasy?
I've got this sort of chainmail bikini I picked up in Selkai as well.
I've been looking for somebody to wear it. Okay, so you've taken the shield, you've taken the sword, which Numal has gratefully received. That will help him fight. Not that he's by any means a warrior. The talk as well can go to any of you who spells. Basically, it acts as a PowerPoint reserve. Or a PowerPoint battery.
Well, I think that's a good one for Ugna.
Possibly. Silk has quite a few PowerPoints, but I don't know if she has many. She's all about power, whereas I've got a bit more utility, so it might be better to go to Silk for that. Sure. Worst comes to worst, it could be something we could use, like if we need healing spells, because obviously I keep a lot of PowerPoints back because I'm worried about something breaking something.
You can do. No, you can pass it between you.
Yeah, give it to Silk for now because she's pure magic, so she might need a lot more than I. Then again, she's doing the sweeps nowadays, but yeah, give it to Silk.
Okay. I'll just add that to her inventory. Somehow. Okay.
I'm holding out for the plus 50 slaying book.
Okay. Right. Each stores 50 PP. Okay. That's annoying. Right. What next? You can see, having taken the item from the tomb, you can see that there is a single passage out of this, heading westwards and then turning north. Can you give me perception rolls? As you begin to make your way to the passageway, with probably Cherry in the lead, Shana not too far behind. Shana and Cherry, you can hear heavy metallic footsteps off in the distance, making a slight ringing sound as they tramp along stone floor. Something booted and quite big and quite heavy is moving around off in the distance. Some distance from you, quite far away, is the first time you've heard it.
Yeah. I'm a bit nervous about trying to
Can't have a thing.
stealth up because I've got this whopping big shield. I'm carrying this whopping big shield now.
You are.
So
Want me to carry it for you temporarily?
no, it's fine. We'll work it out. I'll have to get used to it. You're gonna be a shield, mate. That battle bikini better be the right size, by the way.
You can see that Cran, attached to his frame pack, which is kind of a bit unwieldy, he's got a full shield. So I'm happy to drop that and carry it. I don't really want to carry both. They weigh a ton, but
You've just got a normal full shield, like a tower style shield.
yeah, it's just a full shield. Plus 25, so I think that's just that's your standard.
Yeah, it's your standard shield. The shield that Cherry has got is something larger. I suppose a kite shield. So if you were to rest it on the floor, the shield would come up to chest height. Whereas the shield you've got, if you rested it on the ground, would be about waist height. So it's a good foot and a half, almost 2 feet taller, Cherry, your shield.
Although being adamantium, wouldn't it be a bit lighter than the one that Cran's currently got?
Given it's that much bigger, possibly yes, possibly slightly lighter, yes.
Okay.
Not by much, because it's obviously that much bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I can ditch this one and carry it for you if you want to, because you're not very sneaky, I guess, with a 5-foot shield you're hauling around with.
Exactly.
Up to you. I mean, I'm happy to obviously give it back if you need it, but I'll ditch this one. I hardly ever use shields anyway.
A 5-foot tall shield is like a complete tower shield for me because I'm only 5'5".
You can peer over the top barely.
You can see my toes and my eyebrows. That's it.
Is it Pavis, which is one of the sort of the big, really big shields which you can kind of stand behind and fight? I think Pavises, weren't they? They were used by crossbowmen.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've probably got the equivalent of a Pavis, haven't you? Which you can basically just duck your head and stand behind. Really useful on snowball fight. Streets of Hell. Okay, so you've taken the weapons and you can hear something big, heavy, moving around slowly, methodically, ponderously in the passages beyond. Whatever is moving around is booted or certainly metal. And there's a faint ringing as it puts one foot slowly in front of the other. But it's very difficult to tell how far away it is. Do you want to try and investigate the noise or retreat?
Right,
Run away!
Let's go see what this thing is. Hang on a minute, Cherry.
I was gonna say let's slowly. I'm gonna, since I'm giving Cran the shield.
Mm-hmm.
And is it? I can't find a kite shield unless it's in a different supplement. Is it just a?
Just a large shield.
It's a large shield. Okay.
Yeah. So let me just have a look. I think in character lore, and I wish this had been. We've done this.
Yeah, it's wall
horrible.
shield. So it's target, normal, full, or wall.
I think. So I think the shield that gives you the plus 25, plus 25.
That's full, yeah.
Full shield. Let me have a look. I'm looking at armor. There we go. Let me get these right. And so I think what you've got. So a normal shield gives you a DB of plus 20 to both. And then the step up from that is the full shield, which gives you plus 25 against both. And then the step up from that is the wall shield, which is effectively what you've got. So that's plus 30, plus 40. And that's
so this is a wall. This is a wall shield.
Wall shield, yeah.
And how much does it weigh? So I can set it up.
Okay, so your normal shield about pounds. The shields that you've got at the moment weigh about 30 pounds. This is about 25 pounds.
Wow. Amazing.
So made of adamantium, it is somewhat thinner than a regular shield would be, and therefore it's lighter, significantly so. But given its dimensions are so much bigger than the shield that you've got at the moment, it probably feels to be about the similar weighting.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Excellent. Yeah. And so shields don't have an associated skill. They're just...
No, there is. You can develop shield bash, but that's the only skill that you can really develop. So shield
Sorry.
bash
I hit the wrong button.
is a skill that you can develop if you wanted to at some point.
Yeah, the previous campaign I played in, I had a dwarf who had a shield and a spear. I used to level both of them together.
Yeah.
So you could always use that was RMU. So I think they had you could use your shield spell to really do a nice parry with it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'll adjust that and develop it over time.
Okay. So Cran, you take the shield. Kerry, you now sneak around unhindered. Beyond the radius, the 10-foot radius of, and you'll pardon the phrase, beyond the 10-foot radius of Cran's glowing helmet, you're going to be plunged into darkness.
Boom, boom.
Yes, exactly. You can edit that. Adults only.
What I might do is place my lantern just around the corner.
Okay.
So the lantern's like 20 foot, isn't it? Or 30 foot?
Probably about 30 feet. So 10, 20, 30. So you placed your lantern.
And then I'm going to look because lantern light does produce shadows usually. I hope to sort of sneak up to here and if I place it right on the corner back and say, when you move up, Crane, just bring up my lantern for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I've got this light on.
And that way I can try and have a look down the hallway as Crane slowly moves up.
How much further do you want me to go?
Did you want me to do a stealth roll of some sort?
Yeah, give me a stealth roll. So, yeah, Cran comes up, so doesn't interfere with that Cherry is positioned. Cherry, you have a sneak up. And okay, you can still hear these footsteps, but you can't see anything. The passages themselves that you're moving along are somber and quiet, apart from the distant sound of whatever this thing is that's moving around. There's a faint smell of evergreen, a preservative, which lingers in the air even after all of these years. Do you want to reposition your lamp?
Yeah,
Do you want me to move it up? You need a bit more light.
I'll move it up. It's fine.
All right.
So I'll do the same.
It's cast on my helmet at the moment, so unless you've got another light.
Yeah, she's got a torch which she's moving.
Yeah, a lantern that slowly moves up. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking, just placing lantern light around the corner.
Yep.
Then using whatever shadow I can find to stalk along. Roll the stalk roll for you. Top of hide, if you like.
Okay. And thank you very much. So, Cherry, do you want to move yourself to where you want?
Yes, sir.
Please. Okay, so you move to there. Cran hangs back. And when you reposition you can see the following, including some stairs which seem to lead up. The noise of whatever this thing is that's moving around receded. Can you give me a perception roll, please?
Sure.
In fact, worryingly, you can't hear it anymore. That could be good, or it could be bad. You can see, fortunately, Cran lurking within a comfortable distance, but whatever this thing is, you can't hear it anymore.
Okay. So I'm going to I motion Cran up.
Cran, can you
Put
move
my
your
finger to
token,
my
please?
lips.
Okay. Cherry and Numel, Silk and Numel stay back. Shana also moves as well.
Want me to go and take a look, Cherry?
Yeah, well, depends if we want to go quickly. All's gone quiet. I can't hear any. You hear footfalls?
Give me perception rolls, Cran, Ugnan, and Shana.
I can't see a thing.
Nothing. The place is totally quiet. The only thing you can hear are the noise of your own breathing. Cran, you move up.
Must have gone the other way.
Cran, can you give me a stealth roll, please?
I'll be delighted.
I thought you'd say that. Or rather, can you make me a non, please?
It's not
Although
stealth.
I could be surprised.
Either I have no stealth or it's called something else.
It's called Stalk and Hide, sorry.
Yes.
Stalk. That's it,
sorry.
thanks.
Too many game systems.
Oh, dearie me.
Okay. So Cran moves up and accidentally knocks over a vase. And
No, that was actually not that unsneaky. It's just that my armor clanks every time I move.
Oh, yeah, that's unsneaky, but the very definition is that's unsneaky.
It's very unsneaky, sorry, yeah.
That's right. So Cran moves up as quietly as he can, but you can hear nothing. And maybe that's a good sign. Cran, what you can... Well, no, you can't see because you've not moved the light.
So I've only got a short light that's coming with me.
Cherry, do you want to move your lamp?
Yes, please. I'm going to move it, say north or south, Cran.
Or north goes up to that door, so we just go west. Well, if you want to go
but
south,
which
I guess we
channel?
go south.
Northern, western, or southern west?
I was going to say, let's clear out. Let's make sure that we're systematic on this and clear space
So
in
this-
front of us.
South,
No flank.
south first, and then have a look down that passage as well. All right.
So
One minute.
I'm going to move the lantern across to here so I can see to the west and to the south.
It's a dead end with what looks like some coffins.
Okay, I give Cran the thumbs up. Point down the corridor.
Okay, just throw them. Or you want to check out the coffins?
I think it'll be just, normal folk. Might be a couple of rich folk there, but
The coffins
I
look
like-
quite simple, quite plain.
let the dead be dead as where we can.
Yeah, right. Let's carry on this way then.
Okay. So move your lantern then, please, Cherries.
Yeah, sure. I'll look at that.
And Cherry and Cran, can perception roll, please. Cherry, you can add 10 to your perception roll.
I'm looking over my shoulder, having a joke with Ugman.
Okay.
I dare say Silk might go down and investigate that first room with a little coffin. Depending on SD check.
I don't think go. Should do that. Particularly with something else moving around. You can go down and have a look. And I suppose if Ugnan goes down, then Silk will go as well. You can open the coffins if you wish. They're certainly coffins as opposed to sarcophagi, and they're wooden, not stone. Cherry, as you reposition your lantern somewhat, you can see the following. But then both Cherry and Cran, you can hear heavy metallic ringing as something begins to head along the tunnels, and the noise is getting louder. It's coming from that direction.
All right, I'll get in the corner,
Okay.
Cherry.
Yeah, I was gonna.
All right, Cran, as you step forward, come on, let me just. I'll open that up a little bit more. Can I have some initiative rolls? Let me share track of you.
So I quickly sneak around that corner where I am getting my bow ready, and I arm wave down the hallway so this arm just pokes out from around the corner and
All right,
does
so
a
you're
flapping
you're-
hand
right,
motion
so
to say
that's
come up.
where- Down. Okay, let's have. Okay.
Actually, my initiative in the first round should be plus 20. I haven't been using that. I've just noticed a note on my character.
okay, so-
It's because I got a two-handed weapon.
There you go, adjusted.
Thank you. Ooh! I might one day top Silk. That would be amazing.
I don't think so. Okay, so Fran, you can't see because of your vision what is approaching, but you can hear something heavy, and you can hear whatever the boots are, they are speeding up. So whatever the thing is, which you can't see, it is running towards you.
Right, I'm going to put my axe back over my shoulder, grip it very tightly in both hands, and brace myself that as soon as I see something coming into my light, I'm
Right. Okay. Silk begins to prepare a spell. Fran, it's your turn, so you are ready, presumably.
Oh, that's. I need to put +5 on that. make my initiative.
Okay, so Cran
17.
readies weapons. Shana, what do you want to do? Let me do another 30 foot.
Where's the noise coming from?
15, 20. No on that.
Somewhere
To
down
the
that
southwest.
Yeah, from that arrow there, from that direction. Shana's, sorry, that's the lantern that
Yep.
Cherry's
you.
put down, and you can see that Cran's also, Ugnan has also got a lantern, I think.
I'll
Yeah.
come join Ugnan on the front line.
Okay, so Shani, you take up your position there. Ugnan.
I think Ugnan will just go forward first just to see what's going on.
Okay. So Ugnan takes his lantern to see what's going on. Numel will move up to the edge of the lantern to keep an eye on the corridor. Silk has stayed where she is readying a spell. And then running into the light, you can see what looks like a huge brass statue. The statue is of a warrior. Looks as if it's made out of solid brass. 7 foot tall, obviously hugely heavy, and it just rushes in straight at you, Cran, and attempts to hit you with what looks like a huge pike. As it runs in, picking up speed as it does, it just levels the pike and charges at you. And it was mounted on a horse, and you were some sort of poor, hapless infantryman. So if you want to, I think you said to sort of defend yourself. So it lumbers in to attack you.
Sorry, I was muted there. I was just about to say I obviously didn't imagine it would have a massive like pike, but I was trying to basically get a swing in before it attacked me. So I'm not sure how you resolve that, Stuart, but that was my intention. By the way, I think he needs a name. We can't target it at the moment.
Has it not got any sort of name?
No.
Okay. There you go.
Ah, excellent.
Okay, so what defensive bonus did you stay for defensive bonus?
Unfortunately, none, because I was fully intending to try and take it out in one hit and
okay.
stunning and stuff. So,
in which case, I'm afraid that's right. Yes, it's done a 14 A/. So the pike catches you square in the chest as it lumbers forward. Although it's slow, it hits with horrible power, and it slams into you. You're knocked back as the pike hits you, knocking you off balance, but doing little more than that. Fortunately, it lumbering into you so quickly, Shana being right next to you, obviously Shana's presence distracted it somewhat. So although it's hit you in square in the chest, you've probably got off quite lightly. Cherry, it is now your turn.
Okay.
Now, if you step out, you can see where this creature took a step to your right, which would be within your movement. You'd probably be able to shoot as well, because I think you can shoot and move, what, 5%?
Yeah, I can take boost. Just walking. It won't hit. It won't hit Cran in the back of the heads.
No. Your arrow flies through the lamp and catches the creature in the shoulder. Whether it does much damage or not, you don't know. It certainly makes a satisfying plink noise as it hits. It seems to have lodged in one of the joints, and then as the creature moves its shoulder again, the arrow falls out. Give me a perception roll, please, Cherry. You can see that a bit of the arm, whatever the jointing mechanism, has been damaged. Your arrow has certainly done some damage. Not as much as perhaps you'd hope, but it's certainly done some damage.
Copy that.
Okay. And we'll have another round of initiative, please.
I gotta keep remembering when I go to plus. Sweet.
Like I rolled a 10 and a 9. I got 24, which is going to be so far below everyone. It's unbelievable.
I rolled a 10 and a 9 as well.
Within 9 of Silt, though. Look at that.
Yes, both within spitting distance.
Okay. So Silk is still preparing. Cran, off you go. You're stunned.
I must parry.
Round and
Yeah.
you're happy.
Let me just apply max parry. Hang on a sec.
Okay. So you grit your teeth and reposition your feet, ready to take a fearful impact.
Yeah, I've got the axe across both hands. So I'm kind of using it to try and parry anything coming in.
The danger you realise with fighting, though it's slow because it's got so much mass, when it hits, it does a lot of damage. So if somebody light hits you, they've only got the weight of their body weight behind. This sort of creature, which weighs probably something like half a ton, if it hits you, there's half a ton of mass behind the blow. So this is a fearsome creature to fight. Cherry, your first arrow managed to strike the creature in the shoulder. Can you do better with a second arrow?
Yeah.
The creature is tall, huge, massive. It's probably shuffled its position slightly. So I'm going to let you fire at it. It's so much bigger than certainly Shana.
Okay.
Who, though
Awesome.
tall, is slender and lithe.
Just like Cran.
I was going to say that, and then reality. This has been quite rude, really. I'm saving up to go back to. Again, another arrow flies. This catches it in what would be one of its eyes. The arrow lodges for a second and then comes. You've damaged the creature, but not significantly. Your arrows are hitting it with very little difficulty, Cherry, but they don't seem to be doing huge amounts of damage. And of course, you suspect that this creature isn't going to bleed anything. It's got nothing to bleed. You're going to have to knock it into pieces to be able to
That's
eat
what
it.
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, we can't plank it yet. Oh, okay.
Ugnan.
Start preparing Airwall.
Okay. Shana.
Ooh, that's nice.
So that was a. So you reach or step up to the creature, strike it with your probably a sweeping leg. Can you roll your sweep, please? You manage to trip Nemesis and drop him to the ground. So he drops to his knees, but is not stunned, but he's certainly on one knee. Attack will be hampered. But you realise that he can't be stunned. The thing is remote. continue to attack. But because you've dropped him to his knees with well-placed kick to his knee joint, he's going to be hampered on his next attack.
Can I also step to the side, please?
Yes, I think you can. So if you can strike multiple definitely reach you.
Can Shana, it's like a £120 woman just cut down a half-ton bit of metal. That's impressive work.
It's using the creature's momentum against it, Fran. I've told you this before.
You're clever.
So Nemesis is going to probably attack you, Shana, but he's going to have penalty to his attack roll because you dropped him. I'm going to take that off his attack roll, and he attacks you with his spear, Shana. Where's my table gone? So he lunges up with his spear at you, Shana, and misses as you deftly hop to the side. My God, did he actually? He did. He missed. How did he miss that?
Because you've got a very low armor type. It's either miss or you die in one shot.
Hold on.
Dodge out of the way of it.
Yeah.
That's not reading his combat bonus. Oh, what? Let me just have a look. Please, well, I've got 150, and that's managed to miss.
Oh, may do.
Goodness me. Let me have a look. What are you defending?
Triple defense.
Yeah. Oh, right, yes. So I think, Shana, am I right? Defense of... Right, okay. So what's your defense at the moment? Oh, 118, is that right?
Wow.
Oh, I'm not playing anymore then.
I was going to say,
Well,
that means to hit a 200 plus to hit you.
my
It's like
roll
watching the Matrix, watching Shana fight.
But I am in simple cloth, so...
I don't care what you're in. This is just not fair. I'm second edition D&D from now on, where there were no monks. Right, well done.
Trouble is-
Right, a fearsome blow is deftly stepped aside as Shana just slips in between the molecules, make up the ether, and grins as she does so. Initiative roll, everybody, if you've not already rolled. Right, let's have a look. Let me get rid of those and get rid of that. Nemesis is looking good. Numel and Silk. Cherry, can I get the initiative roll?
Oh, sorry. Because
That's
I'm
all right.
stick with my bow.
Oh, let me get.
Oh dear. Oh,
No,
sorry.
initiative roll. That's
Initiative.
what I needed.
Yeah. I'm glad that wasn't an attack. I would have shot somebody. Plus, I'll go on 8. 8 or 13 doesn't really matter.
Okay, so right. Is this set up on the combat? Yes. So let's go to Silk. Silk is going to shock bolt at Nemesis. That's good. Oh, that's excellent. So that's that. So there's a flash of lightning from Silk's wildly gesticulating arms. And she'll roll her critical. Take it off. And it doesn't. But it does a little bit more damage. Strikes the creature in the top of the head, where its nose would have been. The creature is outlined in a blue halo for a while, which then fades. Whether Nemesis is capable of growling, pain you don't know. and it continues to try and beat down Shana as it strikes again with its horrendously powerful polearm pike. And that's a miss as well. Shana, your turn.
I was also parrying that time as well.
Don't stop showing off. Yeah,
Yes,
missed.
please don't.
Dear me. Okay. So you deftly avoid its evil attack. Catch the creature again. Can you give me your D critical, please? Very much.
Ooh, nice job, Shana.
And the D critical does a little bit more damage against. Nemesis is now beginning to show golden finish, luster that it has to its armor and its arms and weapons and so on. Is now beginning to be cracked, praised in the same way that a car windscreen, if you hit it, it will craze rather than break. So the creature is obviously being damaged by your attacks. Shana, did you want to step around it as you hit it, or do you want to hold your position?
No, I'll move around.
Okay, you can move again if you want to move where you could get such that Cran now will be able to flank it. Ugnan, it's your turn.
Cancel the spell and just walk behind Cran.
Okay.
There you go. That's it.
Numa will hold his. Cran, it's your turn.
So actually facing and kind of he's rotating round to attack Shana.
Yeah, he's focused. He's totally focused. Shana is the creature that it can't hurt. Shana is the creature that's hurt it. It is totally absorbed in beating this pathetic thing into pieces. It's ignoring it totally, Cran.
Is it flank or rear or anything like
Rear.
that? It is rear.
Rear.
Wow. Okay. So it's 35.
So you'll enjoy this bonus probably only once. Now inflict the fearsome damage I suspect you're capable of it. And
Well, I was defending with a lot there as well. This thing's lethal, so let's see. Damn, 26. Could it be better? It's still reasonable, I suppose.
okay. So is it with your trusty axe? Okay, so your axe slams into the creature.
I thought I'd need something heavy.
Down. Can you roll your E critical, please?
It's not open-ended, it's just regular.
Yeah, it's just normal.
Ooh,
so close.
Oh, if I was using a different weapon, I could have adjusted that up.
Okay, your axe slams into the creature's side and arm, almost breaking the arm off. You can see that the jointing on the arm is badly affected. Though the creature is stunned, the arm that it was using is not moving as freely as it should do. Its attacks are now going to be hampered. You've damaged the mechanism. Cherry.
Its mechanism. Watch out, Shana!
It's your turn.
Thank you.
Its mechanism.
Briefly before I...
That's going to be okay. What's the Latin for that?
That was Windnail and I quote. His mechanism is gone.
Okay. Cherry, it's your turn. Nemesis is now damaged.
Mechanis et...
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to... So briefly before I shoot my arrow, I'm going to look at where the arms become disjointed. I'm going to have a brief look and think back to that automaton that we saw on the island.
That you've got, remember, that automaton,
we've stored it, don't we?
Yeah, but you've never used it because
No.
you're leery about the it is enchanted to prevent magic users approaching it.
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay,
yes.
so now I shall blink away. That's a button. Oh. Ooh. How did I... Wait, something went wrong. 97 seemed wrong way. Oh, the defender's stunned, that's why. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that then.
Yeah, Nemesis isn't stunned though, so there should be no bonus stun.
Oh, okay. It says defender's
That's
stunned.
alright, I can...
Yep, so 122, so it'd be about the same
Yeah.
result as previous.
Yeah, so that's basically another arrow do much more damage than just lodge in the armor and hamper the creature's attack. Yeah, sorry, for some reason I didn't remove its stunned round. That's annoying. Okay, never mind. Okay, Silk is going to ready another spell. And initiative rolls, please. Okay. Numal will go first, surprisingly. Numal will again do nothing. Silk is preparing a spell. Ugnan, it is your turn.
He's going to wait until after Nemesis is gone to see what he does to Cran.
Okay.
Or Stark.
Okay, Nemesis is going to turn and hit Cran this time with its polearm.
He bloody isn't. I'm defending like Billio.
Alright, we'll see what Billio does. Billio will mean that it misses you.
Deflected it into the wall.
Okay, so your axe takes the spear thrust and just almost delicately lifts the axe up, and as the creature extends and advances on one leg, the axe just pokes up into the ceiling, missing you completely. Shana, meanwhile, you now have a on the creature.
I have what? You cut out.
You have a rear attack bonus on the creature. As if you needed it.
Every little helps.
Ooh. That almost cheered me up.
I already had parry set as well.
Okay.
Shana is at like minus 200 to hit at the moment if someone did attack us. So.
That's right.
Did you add the 35 as well, Shana, for the rear attack?
I did.
Yep.
Okay. Give me your... You still manage, though, as you sweep round and catch it around the knee joints again. You still threaten to buckle the creature and drop it. All you do, though, it's obviously braced itself as it tried to put its pole into parts of Cran's body where no should be. You just inflict some more damage on it, but little more than that. That's weird. There you go. Okay. And Cran, it's your turn. No rear bonus. Is still facing you. It was rocked slightly by Shana's attack, and it's looking damaged, but still perfectly capable of fighting.
So Cran will say, this used to work when I was a kid. Look over there! And he feints with his axe left and then steps past him. I'm sure I won't get a flank attack.
No, and the creature then just responds. Off you go. No flank or
no, okay, just
but it does turn slightly.
Oh dear.
That's a fumble.
Give me a fumble roll.
Hold on a minute. Yes, it is. That is a fumble.
It should be. Yeah, that was a natural one.
Yeah, that was a 1. Sorry, I just bonus as well. So let me call up the fumble.
Oh, very, very impressive, lad. Very impressive.
Yeah, exactly. So Cran says, "Look at this!"
I outfought myself there.
And proceeds to fumble his. Oh, it's a two-handed one as well.
It is. It's
He's
very
getting
my back
out Off you go. So this will be just a straight D100, please. And we want low.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Luckily, I wasn't at 96. That would have been really catastrophic.
Okay,
Or a
so 69. You lose your grip, juggle your weapon for round. You tell Ugnan, look at this. Promptly almost lose your axe as you turn round. Step on your foot, fall against the wall, snatch the axe but with the sharp end, and wince as the blade of your axe bites into your hand.
Oh, bollocks, nearly had my fingers off.
And Ugnan says, well, that was unusual. Does that work in your tribe? Cherry.
Yeah.
Okay, now watching, try not to shoot the dancing,
Yes, right.
the dancing cran in the back. I'm too big a pot shot at all, matey. Oh,
Okay.
I'm just not hitting the high notes today.
It's again though, your arrow managed to ping into the creature, striking it again around the neck for some damage, but not as much as you'd hoped. Initiative rolls again, please.
Well, just Ogden delayed his action, so he's
Yes,
just
he did.
trying. If there's room, he'll just try and get just round the corner behind the nemesis if possible, trying to keep out of the way of Cherry's line of sight. If there's not enough room, then he'll just see where Cherry's been shooting, and if Ogden thinks that where he stands, if he stands where Cran was.
I think Ugnan, if you want to stand around there, because Nemesis tracked Cran's movement, which was significant given that he juggled with his axe. So no, I'll let you move around to there if you wish.
Yep, that's great. Just he'll keep an eye on Cherry, make sure he's not getting in her way.
Yeah, I think Nemesis would have tracked Cran's movement. Right, so let me roll some initiative then.
And Stuart, can you advise? I can't remember. Did I kind of basically lose all actions this round as well?
Yes, so you are unable to attack round as well. You can still parry, you just can't make any attack. So you could parry with everything. Oh, sorry, you can parry with
Up to half, yeah.
Bonus, as you basically try and regain control of your axe.
Is that half of half? Because
yeah, half of half.
maybe-
Yeah,
Alright.
half of half. And that will. Is
Cherry makes a mental note to say to Ugnan, just tap me on the shoulder on the way past.
Ugnan, your turn.
Okay, he'll try and hit this thing from behind and then take a step back again afterwards.
Yep, you've got a rear attack on it. Okay, and again, your axe thumps noisily in the ear of the creature. Okay. But does little more than that, though the creature, as your axe hammers into the back of Nemesis, you can see that cracks are now beginning to widen the body. It looks like it's going to fly apart with a few more taps. Shana, sorry, your turn. You've got, I'll give you a flank attack on the creature.
Okay, is that 15?
Yep. Okay. And can you roll your
Ooh, one off.
Right, you're unable to throw the. Certainly, what you're able is launching yourself at it 2 feet. You catch it in the side, and you launch it into the. As luck would have it, what that manages to do is the arm that had already been weakened, I think by one of Cran's blows, now breaks off totally. So that will reduce its offensive bonus with its weapon by almost half. One of its arms has broken off.
I've got to club it to death with its own severed arm. I've always wanted to do that.
You could do. So Nemesis now. I think it's still going to attack Cran. And that's a miss. It won't fumble, but it will certainly not be able to. You've almost beaten this creature. It's looking close to collapse. One of its arms has fallen off. Cherry.
I take one step to the side, so I've got field side.
Come on, Cherry, finish it.
Doing my best.
Nice.
There you go.
This time, with the creature badly injured, and as we've assessed or stated before, its mechanism isn't quite working properly. Your arrow obviously catches it somewhere quite vulnerable. Give me a puncture critical roll, please. The creature is half turned. Fine. Your arrow obviously lodges and reduces its speed significantly.
Oh, nice.
Cran, it's your turn. Sorry, your juggling weapon.
Ha! Got it back in my hands again by the end of it.
Okay, that's new. Well, right, initiative rolls. Silk will hold her action. She's having a spell. Shana, it's your turn.
Shana nearly fumbles. What's going wrong in the world?
And Shani, roll me a C crit.
I nearly fumble and get a C critical.
I know, that is impressive work.
That's the ranks, man. The ranks are OP. They're awesome.
Tripped over and headbutted it and still got a critical.
Okay. So, obviously the creature being one-armed is not really able to itself. As Shana steps under a flailing spear that it's wielding with one hand. Again, you catch it across a vulnerable knee joint. It wobbles but stays on its feet, but is now quite hampered. It turns to attack you this time, Shana, given that you're being one of its regular tormentors.
Bring it.
And it misses. Ugnan, you can keep hammering away with your axe.
Is it flank or rear? Or
It's rear. I'm going to give you rear on that.
Come on, Ugnan.
Oh, bugger.
Every little helps, Ugnan says under his breath.
I presume it's not stunned either, unfortunately.
No. Okay, so that's a small amount of damage. And I would like to... There we go. Cran, your turn.
I've finally got it in my bloody hands again. And I'll swing it hard at him. I thought that was a double zero.
So did I.
20.
13 points of damage,
Clonk.
but no critical. So there's a thump as and a clunk, ringing sound. And you can see that bits of the armor are now beginning to flake off. The creature is beginning to break apart. Noodle. Cherry.
That'd be me. It's still going. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, that's a callback to an ad from the 80s in Australia. So
Cultural
when one of
reference.
it, when one, oh, I have a 0 initiative. I put -5 instead of +5. Nah. I'm still last anyway. I'd be 10.
We want you to make an attack roll, not an.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were. Go.
There we go. Okay. So another well-placed arrow strikes the creature, probably in one of the stumps. Give me an A roll, please. Although the creature can't be stunned, well-placed arrows are interfering with the mechanism. This obviously damages the leg as your arrow lodges joint, which slows it considerably. Let me just get rid of those stuns. There we go. Initiative rolls, please, everybody.
My mouse is being very. Sorry. Trying to.
There we go. Jana. Flank bonus if you need it.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that.
Okay, so that's an extra 20 or so, isn't it? So
15.
15. Okay, so that's that.
103.
Yep. So I made it. And can you give me a... Thank you. Be critical. Oh, 7. That's another hit point. So this is a glancing blow.
I was parrying again this round.
Okay, so the creature is going to try and attack Cram, but it's not going to attack this round. I forgot to reduce its initiative. Ugden, you will get to it first before it has a go at Cran.
Whoa!
That is a solid blow that catches the creature, catches the statue up near the neck joint. So you step up slightly and bring down your axe with all the weight that you can bring to bear. Give me an E crush critical on it, please. Bollock.
You cracked him in the napper. Nice job.
What makes your hands hurt?
So there's a ringing sound, and you can see probably Ugnan is suffering from I can't remember what the work disorder is when you use jackhammers and things.
Tinnitus.
Tinnitus or whatever it is. So Ugnan's hand trembles as Cherry, you'll also get an arrow off before I go back to Nemesis for his attack. His speed, etc., has been hampered by your arrow and some of the other attacks. I forgot to include that in his initiative. A couple of well-placed strikes should deal with this dangerous creature. That will help, but it won't be enough to knock him down. I'm now going to go to Nemesis, who's going to attack Cran. Where's Cran? There he is. And that's a miss, Cran.
Whew.
Numel, Cran, your turn. A well-placed blow will finish the creature off. One of his arms lies on the
Don't tempt me.
all over the place. One of his both knee joints look as if they're ready to fall apart as well. Jana has relentlessly hammered away at feet and hands.
Oi, ugly, your mechanism's showing.
Nice.
That's better.
Cran's axe hammers into Nemesis one time. Roll your E crush critical. Cran winds up, and this time his axe flies into the creature's chest in a mighty two-handed swing that almost or would disembowel a living creature. Nemesis takes 2 steps back, drops the spear, and then topples slowly forward, a little bit like a pine tree falling over that's been felled in a forest. The creature is finished and no more. As it falls to the floor, one of its legs rolls free, its other arm disconnects, and its head twists at an angle that would normally break a living creature's neck. But of course, Nemesis is no living creature. It's gone.
Looks like my first car.
You mean after you'd finished parking it?
Yeah, my first parking incident.
That's right, okay. As with the ringing noise is finished from the battle, you pause for a minute, and miraculously the temple tunnels remain quiet and still. Where next?
I don't fancy meet some more of those. I can see why people use shields now. That's bloody lethal.